Alright guys, let's try and put this thing together. You just saw me unbox it. We got a lot of parts. I've got 2 different TaunTauns to assemble. And I'm gonna assume the parts that came in each tray go with the right TaunTaun, so we're gonna go with that. But let's take a look at this, and then let's see how we're gonna put this guy together. I imagine they're gonna go both together the exact same way. Here's the base. It's gonna be a little difficult to show because it is really white and it's snowy, and you got the footprints in there. You even have a little hole right here for pegging in, I imagine. I don't know. There was a screw that was included in the packaging, but I don't imagine that's why that's there, because there's no hole in the bottom. This is lightweight. I expected this to be a little bit heavier. I'm not mad that it's not, but this is fairly lightweight. This is maybe a pound, maybe-ish. It's not extremely heavy, but the paint detail is quite fantastic. And I'll give you some up-close shots here in a little bit, but nice rocks going on back there. And then we've obviously got 2 feet pegs. Now, this particular one is number, I guess I can flip it out this way. This one is number 28 out of 99. So that's pretty cool. Kind of dig that one. Let's go ahead and see if we can't put this TaunTaun together and take a look at some of the details as we go along. Now, not 100% sure where I'm going to start. I have the actual TaunTaun over there, which is missing a leg. So one of the legs comes packaged separately, which I have one of the legs for this guy right here, which literally looks like a turkey leg. So as you guys saw, the packaging is on point. Now, this came from Thailand, and it was exorbitantly expensive to ship. I understand why. It's a giant box. You guys saw the box. It's packaged very well, and yeah, it arrived safe, I think. But there's some detail shot. This is not sculpted. This is straight up. I guess it's some kind of resin plaster, however he made the structure of it. But there is straight up soft goods all around this guy. So it looks like what they did is they applied some kind of whatever fur stuff they applied to it, and then they went and painted it and plastered it, and there's all kinds of different stuff. But this is not a sculpted piece. This is straight up material. I guess you can kind of see it right there. That's pretty freaking cool. Again, not super heavy, so I kind of dig that. There's no hole on this side, so I'm assuming, obviously, left and right, we're going to go there. So I'm going to put this down. And let's grab us a TaunTaun, which should be this one. Let's see here. Now there are no instructions for this, so we're gonna make this. I'm assuming it's gonna be pretty straightforward. We do have a hole in there, and there's a hole there, so I can assume it goes there. And there's 2 screws. Not 100% sure. I don't. Maybe it's optional. I'm not sure. But here is the other part. Now the tail piece it's got to be attached, so we'll get into that in just a second. But it is. I guess we're just going to go. Oh, magnets. Okay, sweet. Okay, we got magnets. I like that. Now the base isn't magnetized. It doesn't feel like it is, anyways. So there we go. Or is it? No, not really. Not really magnetized. So that looks pretty good. It doesn't fit the mold of the base perfectly, and I'm not sure. I'm assuming it's supposed to, but it doesn't. But yeah, it definitely does not. So that's kind of strange. I'm rotating it around, like this one. This one right here seems, the left foot seems to fit just fine. The right foot, not so much. So maybe I got to go a little further up with it. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't seem to want to. I'm afraid, like, if you don't get it right, then you got this action, and we don't want that. So that doesn't really. That's a little scary. When this foot doesn't sit in here, I'm a little concerned with that. All right, well, we're going to continue on, even though that's a little scary. Styrofoam, that's fine. All right, now we got a little tail action. I guess you can see like the soft goods on this thing. Pretty nice. It looks like it's just pegged in, so it's fine. Let's see here. We've got, that's fine. Let's see if we can't figure out how we want to do this. Hello. All right, well, we'll deal with that in a second. All right, now this is interesting. We have the face of our TaunTaun, which looks quite good. We even have joysticks for movable eyes. There's literally a wood screw on this backing of this piece. That's an interesting deal. I don't really care about those moving. It's not important to me, but do they move? Yeah, they move. There we go. All right, there we go. And it's tight. I imagine there's that. We do have some teeth. Got the top of the mouth. Let's see here. Let's get you going there. At least we're looking in the straight direction. And I'm guessing this is going to be magnetized. Yeah, fairly strong. Yeah, that's magnet. So we got to get some of the fur out of the way. And we're going to get you. All right, so there is got a little bit of a gap. Like right here is a little bit of a gap. Actually, it's kind of a significant gap. Yeah, that's a pretty good gap. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's right here on this line. Like there's a pretty good gap. I mean, it's got fur to kind of cover it. If you weren't looking at it top down, I don't know. I'm not sure you would see it, but you probably would. Okay, all right, there's that. What else? What have we got? We've got some stirrups. We've got to go on. Those are nicely done. I'm assuming this is real leather. I don't know if they ever said. I didn't really ask. Nicely done. Okay. All right, so we've got that. We've got that. We're going to get those on. We should have a saddle, and I got to remember where the heck I put it. This is a screw that came with it. It was one on each side, so I'm assuming we can screw in the foot through the bottom, because I don't know where else you would put a screw. Here's our saddle. This is some kind of resin material. I mean, it is very beautifully painted or weathered or whatever you want to call it, applied of some kind of material to make it look like snow. It's beautiful. Like the sculpt is great. This is nicely done. Like the leather bits, it looks like real leather. Yeah. It looks really, really good. So I'm assuming let's hope. Now this, I'm going to assume that's a magnet. So let's go ahead and. It feels like it's magnetized. It's not super strong. Like I don't feel like it's like packed. Yeah. Yeah, it's not super. It is magnetized, but it's just. I think it's going through so many multiple layers of material. I mean, obviously around the figure itself, the TaunTaun itself, through the fur, all that kind of stuff, and then you've got this magnet. And maybe it's just not quite as strong as a pull as I'm used to with statues. So should be fine. I mean, this isn't something you're going to be playing around with. It's literally going to sit on the shelf. That's essentially it's going to work. You've got some stirrups here. Should go. Oh, honestly, they should go under all of this stuff. Doing this. Should go something like that, huh? All right. I mean, the appearance of this thing is quite beautiful. It really is something cool. All right, so we've got the tail. I got to add the tail. Now, I'm not sure which way the tail is meant to be going, but I imagine something like that. And it's a little tight. It's a little tight. There it goes. Okay. I think there was just a little bit of the fur in the way. Yeah, I guess you can rotate that however you want. Yeah, it's not keyed. Like it only goes in one direction. It's just a round peg, so I guess you can do whatever you want with it. So I'm definitely concerned with the balancing situation of this thing. But let's see. If I put this there, if I rotate that down, then maybe I don't have too much to be concerned about. Is back. That's pretty cool. All right, so differences in this one, we're going to see the different poses. You can already see the base is completely different. We've got a foot here versus, these are totally different, I mean, bases and everything. So that display option, again, not super heavy. This one's going to be, yeah, number 29 out of 99. So we've got different molds. Kind of dig that. I got the other TaunTaun over here. This TaunTaun has a lime green sticker on it. I guess that means it's good. I don't know. We're going to get rid of that. Oh, no. Come on now. Don't mess with me. Come on. Don't. Oh, no. Come on. I wanted to pull some of the material off, but I got it. It's okay. All right. Need the other leg. Are you guys enjoying this? I feel like I'm being a little bit more laid back. I'm just kind of enjoying the process, you know? So we got that, and we got to figure out, I can only assume it goes this way. Okay. Up. Come on now. Don't do that to me. Then lost the leg. Get on there. All right, so this one, it's not quite, the leg's not quite in. All right, so once again, we've got a situation where the feet don't match the mold of the base perfectly. And so balance is going to be a thing. Like it falling over is an actual concern. Maybe we'll run into it where the tail actually helps that situation, but it could totally fall this direction pretty easily. So I guess that screw might actually be necessary. All right, so we've got stirrups again. Get these guys on there. And then we'll get the saddle on there. Again. And I'll go and verify. I don't remember if the stirrup thing goes on. It doesn't make any sense that it would go on top. That would be kind of silly, but I didn't design it, so. And this, again, the magnet is not strong. Again, it's going through so many layers. I'm not sure. That's okay. We'll let it be. Here's our other tail. Get this guy pegged in. I'm going to assume it goes this way. Again, it's round, so it doesn't really key in a particular direction. It seems like this will be logical. Seems like that would be a logical place for it to go. We've got our face plate again, movable eyes. There's Bella and Ducker. We've got a bunch of people coming to our house at the moment. So this one seems to, like this gap is a little bit better on this one. I kind of dig that. And then once again, we've got screws, I imagine, to screw into the feet so they don't fall over. And here we are, we've got them both put together, and the bases do kind of go together. You can see right there. Now some of you might have got one or you got the other. I got the set. Now the only problem I have, honestly, is I don't have, because Hot Toys hasn't made, the Empire Hoth, Han, and Luke. Now Sideshow made them years and years and years ago, and I don't own them. I might go and acquire them, but honestly, I'll probably just wait on Hot Toys to eventually do that in the year 2053, and I'll finally have it. But I wanted these anyways, so that's fine. But here we are, A and B, I guess they called them. They all look, I mean, they both look pretty freaking good. They're not perfect, as I'll show you some of the flaws going on there. However, with a small manufacturer, custom, one-off fan project, these have definitely exceeded expectations. I mean, no doubt about it. There's, like I said, they're not perfect. There's some balance issues and some QC issues I'll show you. But the bases are beautiful. The way they go together, that's beautiful. I dig that, which is like the snow effect looks realistic. I mean, there's straight up like fur, for lack of a better word, on the figures. They're not sculpted. I know Sideshow made some statues years ago, and that's fine too. If you have those, then obviously you probably wouldn't need these. But I don't have those, and these look pretty cool. And obviously Empire is one of maybe the greatest Star Wars film out there ever. Some would say Rogue One, maybe me. But Empire obviously is iconic. But this thing looks absolutely beautiful. Let me see if I can pause. I can pause this. So let's take a look at like the saddle and some of the details on this guy real quick. And I kind of just talk about it. I mean, just look at that. Just look at that. I mean, if I just leave this right here, the saddle, I believe, is real leather. It's got the padding underneath it like a saddle would have. You've got the stirrups going on there. You've got paint applications everywhere. The magnets on the saddle, like I said earlier, not the strongest. Mine's kind of moving around on me a little bit. And yeah, we'll kind of get it there. But this is not something you're going to be posing, I guess, for lack of better. It's essentially a statue. Now, the fur and everything is straight up fantastic. The shading on it, the browns and the grays and the whites and everything they've painted on here, absolutely beautiful. So here's one of the nitpicks, I guess, if you will. The feet don't really fit the mold of the base, and that leads to some stability issues. So that's unfortunate. It just is what it is. It's just unfortunate. Like the little bone application there for the claws, I guess, if you will, the talons, that looks pretty good. The base is beautiful. Again, this is straight up soft goods on the entire figure. It is quite nice. The mold, I think, looks great. I think the poses work for me. And we'll get up to the heads here in a little bit. But we got two different versions, obviously, because there's two different TaunTauns. So if I, let's see if I can get this guy going one more time. This is a little unconventional review style for me. But we're going to spin this guy around. Hopefully it doesn't fall over. That would suck. All right. There we go. We got some TaunTaun butts. Okay. All right, there we go. Well, like I was saying, the mold, as you guys saw in the unboxing, like the torso and everything's all one piece, and then it goes down, and then the tails kind of plug in via a metal rod, I guess, if you will, a little peg. So there's a little bit of a gap you can see right there, and almost like the paint application doesn't quite match. From the body to the tails. So I don't know if they painted the tail parts in mass or they painted. I don't know. I'm not sure how they did it. I don't think they attached it and then painted it to match, because they don't really all match all that great. But again, not too bad. There's the base, and there's this feet that don't quite line up. And for a pricey piece like this, you expect there to be issues for, like I said, like a fan-made piece. You expect there to be some kind of lack of perfection, and I'm okay with that. I am not upset about this purchase in the least. But for those maybe on future projects they've got dropping, because I'm assuming they'll do some more projects. These are just things that maybe if you're thinking about getting one of their pieces, it's something you might want to consider. So if I go back down, and this is one of the feet, you can see that gap right there where it doesn't quite sit into the mold. So it's got a little rockabilly action going on there. And that is a little concerning. That is a little concerning. So I'm not sure how to address that just yet, other than just leave it on the shelf. But outside of that, I mean, look at the detail in this thing. It is straight up beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. There's going up to the head with the movable eyes. I mean, that's a pretty cool freaking feature in itself. Spin this guy around. We'll get a look at this head sculpt. Now, they are both kind of tilted, so there's that. But this is freaking cool. Movable eyes, magnetic head attachment to it, so that works. You got the bits in there for them, to be steering around and or being directed by Han and Luke, and there you are. Straight up fantastic. So here's your one with the two horns that are not broken, and then we go over here and you got the one that is broken. So that's accurate. Dig that. Paint applications on both of them, as far as the bodies go, they seem to match pretty well. So they decided to, however, I think they might have done those in batches, which would make sense. This particular one, the one on the right, the feet on this one seem to match up with the base a little better. That one seems a little bit more sturdy. And then the one on the left, again, we saw the issues with that one. So there's that. This thing. I'm just admiring this thing. I think it's pretty cool. If I rotate them around some more, you can see the different poses they've got them in. And I'm pretty freaking pleased, honestly, guys. Absolutely pleased. Now, I will show you the gap in the head, as I mentioned earlier. I'll show you that, and so we're 100% transparent with this thing. Not a deal breaker for me, as you can't see it from the front. This is one of those things when you get really up close. The one on the left is the one that has like kind of the QC issues. The one on the right actually looks pretty good. We'll pose this guy right here, and let me get let's take a look at the head. So this is the gap I was telling you about. If you look down on the head, you can see that gap where the faceplate magnetizes into the head. And if I go to this one, it's much better. Like that first, covering that up. Whereas this one doesn't really quite, get there. So a little bit of a gap. Again, if you're looking at it from here, right? I don't think you can notice it all that much. And there may be some futzing I can do around with this first section here to try to cover that gap, but it's not like it's not placed all the way. It's as far in as it's going to get. It's just going to take some tweaking. But these guys, I mean, just freaking cool looking. Absolutely cool looking. Look at that. Try to get you guys some more detail shots of these guys. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased. All right, so I may not have the Sideshow Hoth Luke and Han, but I do have the Hot Toys Snowspeeder Luke, and this is the scaling. That's freaking awesome. Now, obviously he's not on a base, but this display right here looks pretty freaking sick, doesn't it? Let's just appreciate the Luke right there. Yeah, this is how I'm going to have mine. I do have the Snowspeeder Luke helmet, or I guess what's the X-Wing helmet? I guess it's from Hasbro. I've got that one. And I do have a Wampa versus Luke and TaunTaun statue that I reviewed years ago. I have that as well. But just scaling wise, like that looks pretty stinking good. So eventually, hopefully, Hot Toys revisit Empire and give us these two figures. But I'm pretty stoked for these guys. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Were these a win? Were they not a win? For me, having spent the money, I'm going to call it a win. Pretty sick. Can't wait to see what Inbox Studios has next, because most likely I will be interested. This is pretty damn good. And just like that, we've got Luke, which is the Best Ben Luke. It's from the same film, posed up with this guy, and it is on there, and it does look scale-wise. I think that looks pretty stinking good. So eventually when I add a Hoth, Han, and Luke, we'll have a complete set. I'm not really in a hurry to do so. I'm pretty happy with, waiting for Hot Toys to do something cool. But this is what we got. Now, it is, I did have a little bit of a posing problem with this. And because, let's see if I can do this, because the magnets on the saddle aren't the strongest, like it wants to lift up. So that's one thing. So it's just balancing, takes time. We do have both feet in the stirrups, so we got that going on, and these guys look pretty stinking good together. So I'm pretty pleased with this. I'll put a link to their Instagram or socials or whatever in the video. Again, I paid for this. This is not something they sent me or even know I'm making a video of. But I think it's pretty stinking cool, and I'm happy to have this set in the collection. So if you like this, hit them up. I don't know what their next project's going to be. I have no idea. Let me know your thoughts. And maybe should I go and hunt down the old Sideshow figures? I think the answer is no, but yeah, we'll see. Anyways, as always, guys, click what you like. See you next time.